Okay, so now we're on to and inequalities. So if ors go apart from one another, well, and is going to go together. Okay, meaning that they're going to overlap, and those areas that they overlap is where our solutions are going to be found. So for example, x is greater than or equal to negative 6. So I'm actually going to fill this in above my graph before I do my final graph so I can show you what this looks like. So I'm going to use a pencil. I'm going to switch over to that real fast. So I'm going to start with x is greater than or equal to negative 6. So the negative 6 would be right here, closed circle, and we'd be going greater than that. So everything to the right. And then there's x is less than or equal to 1. So again, here's the 1 where I would have a closed circle, and I'd be going less than that. Okay, so see how our lines overlap now? So the actual answer for this is going to be only where they overlap. So from negative 6 to 1 is the only area that's going to be colored in. Okay, so that's our actual final answer. Now the interval notation is going to be pretty simple. We go from negative 6 to 1. Both of them are closed circles, so we use brackets on both of them. Okay. All right. Now there is one other thing, is that sometimes when we deal with an and inequality, because they are in between two endpoints, usually we do a condensed form of writing them. Okay. So for example, if you have x is greater than or equal to negative 6 and x is less than or equal to 1, we would write that, okay, from least to greatest with the x or whatever variable it is in the middle, and then we would use our less than symbols. So the same way that we've talked about doing this before, but we go from least to greatest, and we use the less than, and then if there's an equals to, we also include that as well. Okay, so that's just the condensed format that sometimes you'll see the answers written in. Instead of using the and, you'll see it written like this, okay? But it means the exact same thing, that x is greater than or equal to negative 6 and x is less than or equal to 1. Identical to that. Okay, so we're going to do a couple of problems together, and then I'm going to let you guys work on your own. So we're going to do the odds this time. We're going to do number 7. Okay, so notice how number 7, the actual inequalities are written in a condensed form, meaning this goes with this part and with this part. So we're just going to kind of treat it like that, and we're going to work through this. So whatever we do to one side, we're going to do to all sides. So here I'm going to start in the middle. I have 7x minus 13, so I'm going to add 13 here, and I'm going to add it over here, and I'm going to add it over here. Okay, so I end up with, on this side, negative 14 is less than 7x is less than 21. And then now to get that x by itself, I divide by 7, and I divide everything by 7. Okay, and again, I'm dividing by a positive number, so nothing changes. So it's going to be negative 2 is less than x is less than 3. Okay, and so when our problems are written like this, our answers already come out in that condensed form. So that's nice, and we don't have to worry about it. But that could also be written as x is greater than negative 2 and x is less than 3. So you've got two different ways that you could write it. This is the condensed form. It's what you'll see most often. All right, so to graph that, we're going to be doing x is greater than negative 2. So our negative 2 is an open circle, and we're going to be moving to the right with that. And x is less than 3. So again, an open circle at 3, and we're going to be moving to the left. So that means we're going to be going in between those 2 points. So from negative 2 to 3, and both of them have parentheses. Okay? All right, we will do one more example so you can see that, and then we'll be finished up. So for number 9, here we have 2/3 x plus 1, and it's being shared between both of these. So I'm going to subtract 1 from all sides, and that gives me negative 2 is less than 2/3 x, which is less than or equal to 4. And then now I have that fraction, and remember, to get rid of a fraction, we have to multiply by the reciprocal. And the reciprocal, remember that word, means to flip the fraction. Okay, so we are going to flip it. We're going to multiply by 3/2. we're going to multiply by 3 halves, and we're going to multiply by 3 halves. And again, we are multiplying by still a positive number, so everything stays the same. So I'm just going to plug this straight into my calculator. I know that's going to cancel out in the middle and leave me with 1. And then I'm just going to use my calculator for the rest of it. So we have a negative 2. And I'm going to multiply it by, in parentheses, 3 divided by 2. So on the left side, I have negative 3 is less than x, less than or equal to. All right, now we have a 4 multiplied by 3 divided by 2, and we get 6. And so easy enough, we found our answer. So we have x is less than or equal to 6, and we have x is greater than negative 3. And so we're just going to graph that. So let's start with the 6 here. It's going to be a closed circle, and it's less than, so we're going to be moving to the left. Keep that in mind. Negative 3 is going to be an open circle, and we're going to be moving to the right. So we're going to be coloring in everything in between the two. And so the interval notation is going to be from negative 3 to 6. Negative 3 is the open circle, so it's going to be parentheses, and 6 is closed circle, so it's going to be bracket. Okay? All right, and so that's how we handle ands. Not all that different. You just need to remember that ors go apart, ands go together. If you come across any questions, let me know. If you'll complete 6, 8, and 10 for practice problems, remember you can show me those, send me a message, let me look at them. I'll be happy to check them to make sure you did them correctly, if you'd like me to do that. Otherwise, these go in your notes, and we'll be doing some extra practice problems along the way for you for a grade here in the near future. So make sure you ask questions if you need it. I'll be happy to help in any way I can.